guys, and welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories video. So this one, wasn't even the one I was really planning to make next, but it's the one that's happening next because it was brought back to the forefront of my mind this week, and I was like, oh my gosh, now that I've remembered it, I must tell it, even though it probably doesn't mean much of anything to anyone else besides me, but I'm sharing it anyway. So what tipped this off was a trip to Home Depot with my dad earlier in the week because he bought supplies to buy shelves and bought a couple of shrubberies, they're gardenia plants, but whatever. Yes, make the Monty Python joke. Anyway, so walking through the store with him, I was like thinking back to all the times I used to tag along with him, frankly anywhere and everywhere, but like especially to things like the hardware store and stuff like that, and just pretty much if he was at home, I was like his little Velcro puppy, kind of like how Betty is with him now. That was me as a little kid. So if he was at home, working on cars or doing woodworking stuff in the garage, I was generally somewhere around, either just hanging out in there, or watching what he was doing, or like poking around playing with stuff in the garage, you know, but like also in general being like, so when I get bigger, you'll teach me how to do this stuff, right? And at that point, he was like, yeah, of course. Did not foresee him dropping the ball when he had my brother, and figured, nah, that's the stuff I'm gonna do with my boy now. And I was like, but I'm still here. I still want to. The irony, my brother's no interest, zero interest whatsoever, never had the tiniest inclination of wanting anything to do with working on a car or learning woodworking at all, or how to fix things. No interest. And I'm over here like, hey, hi, hello, I'm still here. I still want to. But I digress. Yes, the childhood wounds that don't heal. But, anyway, that's it. So, like, it's probably no coincidence that literally my earliest memory in my life is probably like 2, maybe 3 max. But I think it may have been 2, because I do have little blips of memories from 2 years old that I can fact check with photos that align that, no, I was definitely 2, and I definitely have little snippets of memories all over the place of that correlate. Not necessarily with the photos, but it's like, oh yeah, that checks out from everyone that I've talked to about them. But I'm pretty sure the earliest one, and that's not even the point of this video, but we're taking a detour, was sitting in my dad's Jaguar in the garage while he worked on the engine, and I'm kind of just chilling in the car. A mama cat that was just like a feral cat on the property had its babies in the Jaguar, of all things. Not a whole hell of a lot you can do at that point. I mean, my dad was raised on a ranch with animals and everything, so I mean, he understood, you know, you don't move the mama cat and the babies when they're brand new. You give them some time. So even though he was freaking pissed that it fucked up the interior of that Jag and then he had to redo that too later on, he did let the cat and the kittens stay in there for a while. And he, like, set up, like, a little towel and, like, a box for them in there, but he let them stay there. So I'm just chilling on the seat of this car, looking at the kittens, knowing better than to attempt to pet them because I will no doubt get bitten and or scratched by the mama cat. No doubt. But I'm just happy just to look at them, even listen to the cute meow, 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 meow. So they're coming from the kittens. Happy as a clown because I love cats. And meanwhile, I am also sitting there. This has nothing to do with the cast, this is just me being a weird little kid, holding a bulb wrench and just turning it in my hands because I liked the sound it made. And to this day, I still find the sound of a bulb wrench oddly satisfying. I cannot explain why, I don't understand it either, but I genuinely love the sound it makes. And if I see one in the garage, I will pick it up every time and give it a few spins just as, ooh, and get, like, the tingles from it all over. Just, like, don't know why, but I do. That's probably the closest thing I have to an ASMR story of actually understanding that phenomena, but I digress. So, anyway, all sorts of random shit like that. But, like, I would just, like, spend time in there doing whatever, even if it was something as random as hell, like that. So, I mean, I would watch him build all sorts of things and ask him to build things, this, that, and the other, because, I mean, at that point in time, that kind of was his hobby, was woodworking. He's had many others over the years, before and since, but at that moment in time, he was really into that. He had converted that whole barn into a cabin that we lived in, and he built a lot of furniture that was in it, was like really super into the woodworking. And I, being the old soul that I am, who's just like really obsessed with pioneer times, like the Old West, I don't know why. There's like a few time periods in history that I just am weirdly obsessed with, and that's one of them. I can't even blame it entirely on Oregon Trail, because this was before I ever saw anything to do with that game. But anyway, that said, because of that, I would watch him do that in awe, and I was like, I can't wait until I'm big enough for you to teach me how to do that. So fast forward a few years, I was probably all of about maybe 5 or 6 years old, and he was like, would you like to build something with me today? And I was like, yes! He's like, I'm going to teach you how to make a toolbox. And I was like, oh my gosh, my very own toolbox, and I'm thinking like I'm gonna have my very own set of tools to go in it, and honestly, if we had pursued this further, I probably would have, but this ended up being the only project we ended up making like this together, but, and yeah, that was the whole thing. It was just a very basic, very blocky, squared, basic toolbox that, I mean, is very beginner friendly, and started off with just like, he obviously was the one that sawed the wood. He was not going to entrust a 5 or 6-year-old to do that part, but what he did do is show me how he measures it, and how you mark it out, and how you like double and triple check that measuring, and then how carefully you saw this, and with the tools that he used, this, that, and the other. And then he handed me some sandpaper, and he showed me how to sand a block of wood. Now, as an autistic child with texture issues, was not a huge fan of this part, and that got real old real quick on the first piece of wood. I think I lasted maybe at best 20 minutes and was like, is it done yet? And he was like, not even close. Because I think I just did not have the upper body strength and needed to be applying enough pressure to really, like, get it to do the thing and be really smooth. So I kept going. I eventually got bored. I was like, can I come back to it later? And he's like, yeah, of course. There's no rush. We can take however long you want to do this. We can spread it out over days. We can, whatever you want. Okay. Went off and played. Came back. The next time I went into the garage to just hang out in there with him, he handed me the sandpaper and piece of wood. Here, work on it some more while you hang out in here. Okay. Did this like over a few different sessions until he decided, or maybe he like quietly sanded it for me behind my back after a certain point. I don't know. But eventually he hit a point where he decided, all right, this one's good. Here's the next one. I was like, wait, I have to do it again? From the beginning? Oh yeah, you have to do it with each piece. I almost cried when I realized that it was not just like a one single piece that I had to do this with. I had to do it on all of them. Suddenly this did not seem so fun anymore, which is probably why this was the only one we did together, but I wish that we had done more of them when I was a little older and could probably handle it a little better, but there's no saying that it couldn't still happen. I mean, I still live at home with my parents. It totally still could happen. But, anyway, very slowly but surely, over the course of, like, an entire summer, because I was so fucking slow with this, I managed to get all of the pieces sanded. Fine. That's great. Then he taught me how we're going to paint it with primer. Now, see, I thought primer was the same thing as paint, so I'm like, oh, it's just white. That's so boring. I don't want it to be white. He's like, no, it's not going to be white. But that's white paint. You're making me paint it white. I don't think I comprehended at that age what primer was, even with him trying to explain it to me, just right over my head. So fine, whatever. Get through all the pieces on one side, but we had to then let them dry before we could do the other side. But at least I was able to get like the side edges, so it wasn't as bad with that, because they were all laying flat to dry. It was like, come back the next day and finish them, whatever. But around that point, he's like, so have you thought of what color you're gonna want to paint it yet? And he had come all ready to go, thinking he knew for sure. He was so certain I was gonna say pink because I was a little girl. And I go, I want it to be light blue. And he's like, what? I want it to be light blue, like the sky. I want it to be light blue. Yeah, okay. I think I have some of that around somewhere. She's digging around and like, shit. And realizing he's going to have to mix some paints together to make light blue for me because this is what he gets for assuming things. You know what happens when you assume. Make an ass out of you and me. Because he came with freaking Barbie pink paint, assuming that was what I was gonna want to do. And fuck no. You forget I was a tomboy from day one. So, fine. Whatever. He mixes together some light blue paint, seals it up for me so it's ready to go when all the primer's nice and dry, and he's like made sure to sand out any like rough spots in that from me not doing it quite evenly. And then the day comes to paint the pieces. Or so I think. Because he gives me an option. He's like, okay, we could do this two ways. You could paint all of the pieces when they're just like this, which is a lot easier. Or we could assemble it and then let you paint it. What would you rather do? I've done them both ways. They both work. It can be done. One's a little harder. And me being the Capricorn that I am, I was like, I want to build it first. Because I think that was what I was really there for. I really just wanted to like build a thing with my hands. He's like, of course you do. Fine. All right. So he starts lining things up, and he's got like the base piece down, and he's like showing me like, I think it was some type of vise to like hold it in place in like a 45-degree angle, like an L, and then shows me very carefully how I'm going to take a nail and I'm going to hammer it in there. Right here, he made like a little teeny tiny dot with a pencil. Aim for that, tap it in. Easy peasy, not a problem. I am happy as a clam. I'm thinking, oh, I'm so cool. I'm building a thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Next thing I know, I'm gonna like be building furniture. I'm gonna build a house. It's gonna be so cool. Obviously, none of those things ever happened. But anyway, I thought they were going to anyway. So, fine. Whatever. Do the other side. Turn around. Put the other side on. Boom, boom, boom. We get the two long sides on it. Dun, 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 dun. Like, all around. And then he shows me where we're going to attach the dowel to the top of it to be the handle. Great. Fantastic. It looks like a toolbox now. Could have been stopped there, but no. I wanted it to be blue. Which, I stand by that choice. My favorite color is still blue. Turquoise now, but you know. Still in the same color family. So, fine. We whip out the paint. And I'm so excited. And he shows me how to do like really even brush strokes with the paint, so it's all nice and all, and how to smooth it out if there's any points that have like little bubbles in it or anything, or if there's any that's a little too drippy, get it nice and smooth. But remember, I am still a 5 or 6-year-old, so it's not going to be the most perfect thing on earth. But when it's all basically just going to be one color, it's fine. It's totally fine. So, I do the thing, and I whip through it, side by side. Oh my god, I'm painting a thing. Look at me. I actually built that thing, and now I'm painting that thing. Oh, this is so cool. This is the best day of my life. So, do that. And now I have to wait for it to dry, which was very frustrating as a little kid, because I really just wanted to run in the house and show it to my mom, but couldn't do that because it's all wet. So, fine. Wait for it to dry. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I built that. Look at this, Daddy. I built it. And I've run in the house. I showed it to my mom, and she could truly care less. Typical. But I ran back out to the garage. Oh my gosh. So, do I get to fill it with tools now and help you build stuff and fix stuff? And oh my gosh. He's like, You could if you want. But we never did that part, and we never ended up building anything else. And I really regret that, because I truly wish, to this day, that there had been more projects like that. And now that my dad is currently redoing our garage, I am still living in hope that maybe there's still a chance once he has his workshop set up here the way that he did in our old garage, maybe we actually could stand a chance at perhaps maybe kind of sort of doing a thing. It wasn't as good as building something concrete, but I did get to help him build and hang some shelves this past week, which I'm pretty proud of getting to help with. Granted, was I the one doing the bulk of the work? No, but I did get to help, and you know what, for me, that's good enough. I'm happy with that arrangement, even. I'm just happy to be included for a change, so, you know, but I still live in hope that maybe, just maybe, we will hit a point where he actually lets me help. Ironically, there have been times he has offered to let me help with automotive stuff, but at this point I'm like, I don't know, the desire to do that one kind of left me, but the woodworking still appeals, so. Anyway, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just like, it seems like such a stupid, piddly thing to like really mean that much to a person, but for me, it means the world. I don't know how to explain it, why it matters so much to me, I don't know, but it frickin' does. I don't know if it's just like me trying to prove myself to my dad or what it is, I don't know, but it means a lot to me, and always has, and I still live in hope that that will become a reality, so, can't say when, but, I mean, he has to have his whole workshop set up. It's going to be a process. We're not even done with all the shelves, we're just done with the shelves on one wall. We've got like the first 68 feet of them done, which is, you know, an accomplishment, but there's a lot more to go, so, anyway. There's that. I think I had figured I would have at least, bare minimum, have built a dollhouse by this point, like, and furnished and handcrafted all the little stuff to go in it, because, incidentally, he had his own little diorama things that he would build just for his own amusement when he was younger. Younger than I am now, actually. Boy, I feel old. But, and there was one that, like, forever stands out. My memory is my favorite one. It was, like, an old-timey Western general store with, like, little bitty sacks of flour that he, like, handcrafted out of, like, some burlap and, like, filled it with, like, fiberfill, I assume. Had some twine to, like, tie it shut. To, like, used a Sharpie to, like, make the old-timey label up. Like, everything was, like, down to the tiniest little detail. It was, like, dollhouse stuff, but manly. Like, in a respectable way, you know? I like that, and I still to this day have, like, a great respect for just, like, miniature anything, and that's probably a big part of why. But anyway, that's probably another story for another day, because I've already been talking nearly 20 minutes at this point, so I should shut the hell up. Anyway, that is it for this one. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddit, everything and more, it's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, until next time, see ya.